Good morning, Emmanuel Baptist, and all those that are watching these devotions. It's a thrill to be back with you. It's Monday morning. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. So I'm excited to see what the day is going to bring. As I was praying this morning and just asking God for something specific for you, the Lord directed my heart to a passage of scripture that I just want to hopefully share with you and make a few comments on with the help of the Lord. But in Proverbs, if you want to look with me there, in Proverbs chapter number 4 and verse number 26, there's much we could say about the whole chapter. But Proverbs 4:26, the Bible said, "Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established." Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. I just want to talk to you a few moments about our walk, and may the Lord use it for His glory. And four things I want to point out, and I'm going to give you another verse in just a moment that we'll take some points from as well. But first of all, God said ponder, and that just means to weigh. It means to consider. It means to think. And so I want to ask you this morning, how's your walk? Ponder the path of thy feet. You know, normally our feet don't go a direction that our mind and our body don't want them to. And if they do, normally it's because there's a physical ailment or something that's caused that. And God said that we ought to take the time, and He said this after He talked about keeping the heart with all diligence and putting away a froward mouth and letting our eyes look right on. And then He said, ponder the path of thy feet. In the next verse He said, turn not right to the right hand or to the left, remove thy foot from evil. So I'm asking you this morning, would you just let God speak to you and maybe ponder your walk a little bit? But not only do I see a pondering, but I want you to notice there's a preparing in this walk. In Hebrews chapter 12, verse 13, which I believe is a companion verse, Hebrews 12:13 said this, right after he talks about enduring the chastening of the Lord and all those things about discipline, he said in Hebrews 12:13, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. The verse before that, he said, wherefore lift up the hands which hang down in the feeble knees. Those hands hanging down in feeble knees is not talking about helping the elderly or helping someone else. In context, he's talking about your hands and your knees that may be weak or that may be feeble. In other words, if you don't deal with the weak spots in your life, and that word prepare, I use the word preparing because he said, make straight. That means I've got a responsibility. I've got to look at areas in my life that may be weak or that may be wanting or that may be feeble. Because if I do not do that, then my path is going to wind up crooked. So we see a pondering, we see a preparing. Notice the precaution in verse number 26. He said, ponder the path of thy feet, let all thy ways be established. And in verse 13, make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way. In other words, if you don't work on things in your life that may seem small or insignificant, your walk is going to wind up being what it ought not be. And then there's a promise in verse 26. He said that if we'll ponder the path of our feet, our ways will be established. I'm glad for the promises of God. Would you ponder your walk today and let God help you? God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning, Lord willing.